Hello, this is Michael Tracy. In this video, we'll take a more detailed look at the photo Scott Fischer took looking up from South Summit at approximately 1 p.m. For many people, seeing Sandy Pittman at the top of the step was completely opposite of what they had thought took place on the climb. So a perfectly valid question is, how do you know that is Sandy Pittman and not Michael Groom? Those are the only two people who are legitimate candidates for that climber. There were others with yellow down suits, but they were not in this location at this time. So let's break it down from known photographs. We have Michael Groom wearing a one-piece yellow down suit with a black stripe on the hood. He is wearing matching yellow gloves and red boots. You can clearly see his climbing harness outside of his suit. In this photo, you can see that his top has only half black sleeves, with the bottom half being yellow. In this photo, Pittman is wearing a bodysuit and a yellow parka on top of it, which explains how she was able to avoid any frostbite. The parka has a yellow hood with no stripe on the top. She is also wearing black gloves and red boots, and the entire outer sleeve is black. The main thing with the parka is that it covers her climbing harness. That is, the harness is on the outside of her one-piece suit, but underneath the parka, and it is not visible in the photos. Now we will turn to a higher resolution photo taken from National Geographic's Everest, Mountain Without Mercy. You can see the lower climber has a yellow suit, black stripe on the hood, a black climbing harness, and red boots. Now both Pittman and Groom have red boots, so that doesn't help, but the black stripe on the hood, the visible climbing harness, those are consistent only with Michael Groom and not Sandy Pittman. In contrast, the upper climber has a yellow hood with no stripe, has black sleeves, and no climbing harness is visible in the photo. This is consistent with Sandy Pittman and not Michael Groom. Some viewers have pointed to this photo in the Nat Geo book, The Everest Mountain Without Mercy, which claims it is a photo of Cleve Schoening and Michael Groom on their way to the summit. That is incorrect. First, you can easily see that the person is descending and not going up to the summit. The photo was correctly labeled by John Krakauer on page 10 of his illustrated edition. The photo is on page 11. I have a whole video analyzing that photo. The photo was taken by Neil Beitelman, and it shows Doug Hansen ascending and Sandy Pittman descending, as is stated in Krakauer's book. It was taken at approximately 3:20 p.m., and Mike Groom was already at South Summit. You can see that in the photo because this is where Krakauer broke down and was given a bottle by Groom. And as Krakauer is not sitting there waiting for assistance in the photo, it means that Groom had already passed him, given him the bottle, and both were already at South Summit when this photo is taken. That is Bukrev leaving South Summit, and they both departed after Bukrev, so that means both Krakauer and Groom are at South Summit for that photo. Now in this photo, you can verify that the hood has no stripe and no climbing harness is visible. Also, the backpacks are blue in both photos of Pittman, the one with her at the top of the step and this one, though that is fairly difficult to see in these web versions of the photo. In addition to the photo analysis, Groom's account of the climb is that he climbed the Hillary Step with Yasko Namba, though he does not say exactly which one went first. If it was Groom at the top in this photo, he would have been sitting there waiting at the top of the step when Krakauer arrived back down, because Krakauer says he personally witnessed Namba climb the step after having noted several other people having passed him. Krakauer did not mention anything about Groom having just been sitting there waiting for Namba while all the other climbers climbed up the step. Indeed, Krakauer reported he fuzzily remembered the sequence of climbers ascending, and while he does say his memory is not entirely clear, he lists Sandy Pittman as being the first of the people to pass at that point, Beitelman, Adams, and Schoening having crossed his path just below the summit. Thus, with Groom and Namba climbing at roughly the same time, and no one seeing Groom waiting at the top of the step, and Krakauer saying Pittman was the first he saw after Beitelman's group, multiple points of confirmation exist showing the climber at the top of the step was indeed Sandy Pittman. That leaves us with the Nat Geo book. The photo caption in the hardcover version on page 163 is incorrect. In the paperback version, which is revised and updated, it is still incorrect. It changed it to state that it was possibly Doug Hansen and Mike Groom. That is also incorrect. The climbers are Doug Hansen and Sandy Pittman, a point on which both Krakauer and I agree. So please keep the attempts to debunk my videos coming. If there is anything incorrect, I do want to fix it, but of course debunking yak dung in Nat Geo books is a reward in and of itself.